Okay, my little cookies. So we're going to do a big vlog today, training vlog I'm going to do. So that was my plyometric session. No running today. I'm purely out of my own fault, entirely my own fault. I didn't make time to go to the mountains to do hill sprints. So plyometric work, still beneficial. So you saw the drill first of all, that's just sprinting live on the toes. So we're always on the front foot. So just fast as possible, condition the calves, condition the tib, warm up to the jumps we wanted to do. Keep that windlass mechanism active, getting an overloading eccentric by jumping down and up, nice and fast on the toes. Nice warm up. So then we had the running and jumping. So running and jumping is an interesting skill. It's one I haven't had to practice for a long time, not since I was playing Gaelic football. So floor, a little bit wet today, a little condensation. It was like -2 or something last night, so a lot of ice around the place. No ice in the shed, but still condensation from the skylights. So to dry that up, a lot of reps. Not sure what height that is, doesn't really matter I suppose at the moment. Still feels pretty springy already, so it's great. So that's the first session of doing those. Then we're gonna do our upper body exercise. Gonna do some strict pressing today. So my wrist is better. Elbow, so they're not the same yet, but now that my wrist is better, I can get back to doing the prescribed wrist rehab or the elbow rehab work. So we're gonna do first couple set, gonna do my high pulls and strict press, superset, couplet, whatever you call it. What you call it? I call it superset. We call it superset at Seek Strength. If you get the Seek Strength app, it's superset on the app. So some upper back, some traps, pressing, just nice and light, just get back to pressing. Maybe I'll do a bit more pressing than usual. Maybe I'll try and make my press go somewhere. And then I'm gonna do some more isolation marks. I'm gonna do the landmine presses for my tricep or for my elbow. And then I'm gonna hit the rear delts, I think. Smash my rear delts. So 2 supersets. And then I'll do my cardio later because I don't have time right now because I'm an asshole. Okay, let me do these and we'll talk to you after.
some anabolic energetic steroids are not in the picture at the moment. So it's a grill one snatch occasionally. I always take essential amino acids, always take LT or semen volume. So we have a general multivitamin in the morning and evening, vitamin B100 complex straight in the morning and evening, vitamin C at 5,000 milligrams per day, except on the day I do my intravenous vitamin C promise that the drug intake isn't changing nothing. On my over-the-counter supplementation protocol has changed essentially the HMB, so I already ordered another bottle and we'll put that to the test if the HMB. Used to be on cycle I'd be like 50, 80, maybe 100 units per liter. Iron study is completely normal. I've been eating beef in my diet regularly ever since I came off cycle. On cycle, I can't really eat beef that often, otherwise my serum iron levels really go too high and I am at so that count goes up to that.
Okay, so the reason I didn't talk during that session, and this is a vastly different session several days later than I'd planned based on that first session you saw, was because I got the one I'm spelling from my direction. So it's funny, when I get that particular illness, that viral infection, it's the only one that does it to me, is all of the vertebrae in my upper back get super inflamed. It's so uncomfortable. It lasts like 4 or 5 days. So the last session you saw was on Saturday. Today is Thursday. On Sunday, I was supposed to do the next session that I was going to show. I ended up just doing 35 minutes of LISS or steady state cardio. Same on Monday, didn't go to jiu-jitsu. I have a pet peeve of people going to places where you're closely interacting with someone for a long time when you have infectious diseases, especially like jiu-jitsu. So I didn't go Monday as courtesy and respect for my teammates. Tuesday, I did my upper body session. Obviously, didn't really matter that much. Wednesday, did a track session. So that was yesterday. Yesterday, what I did in the track session was 10 40-yard dashes at about 60 to 7% kind of pacing. So moderately fast relative to myself, I suppose. And then I did 10 sets of bounds, so approximately like 10 meters of those. Took about half an hour, obviously, after a reasonable 10-minute warm-up. About a minute's rest in between each of the 40s. It was a nice track session. Hamstring flexibility is back from when I OE'd it a few track sessions ago. I wanted the video yesterday, but I'm not going to lie. I was there by myself, and there was only 2 other people on the track, but I felt super aware of those people. And you would think, as someone who make as many YouTubes as we do, as videos as we do, but I didn't want to be videoing them. I didn't want them to feel like they would come to the track and someone would be videoing stuff, It's different if Dara was there, he can make sure he's just videoing me, or I'm just videoing him doing his stuff. There's no one else on the track and it's fine. But there was other people on the track. One of them looked very at home on the track. And then there was a different girl who was not... Who didn't look, she was in great shape, but didn't look very at home on the track. And I was just super self-conscious that, it looked like an ass. I'm sure I could have set some angles, but I just didn't want anyone to be self-aware, like they didn't come to the track for that. So I just didn't video it. So I promise I will get some track sessions, just need to set them up in a way that I'm not intruding on anyone's privacy. I know, when you go out in public, the thought process these days is that you could get videoed, and incidentally it's fine, but when you're doing something like exercise, it's a little bit different, I think. So I didn't want to be videoing. And it was a good session. I would like to video it, but yeah, doesn't matter. So it's a nice session. It's the first time in months that I've gone a full 7 days between squat sessions. Imagine that. First time in nearly 12 months. Probably about 12 months nearly. It'll be 11 months since I've been a full 7 days between a squat session. How crazy is that? So I did 220 for triples there, as you saw. Moved pretty well. Felt heavy on my back, but it actually moved just as easy as it would have if I hadn't had the sickness and the break between squatting, which is quite interesting. Feels like there's so much extra room in my back. So still dieting, still doing lots of hypertrophy, trying to win the hypertrophy, which is great. And snatching. forgot to talk about the snatching. 70 kilo snatches, triples. I am coming for you, Toshiki. I saw Toshiki's 70 kilo doubles. He missed it a double at 80. I'm coming for him. I'm going to beat him. I am going to beat Toshiki to that 90 kilo snatch. He's not ready. He does not know who's coming for him. So just he wait. 70 kilos for a triple. Tricep feels a bit funny back here in a way that it's a different use on the tricep. The mobility in the overhead is improving, so I'm doing all of the stuff Dr. Steph has told me to currently, except for one thing, which is hanging from a pull-up bar one arm at a time and pulling, so we're trying to gap the joint or decompress the joint as he calls it. And I haven't, funnily enough, anywhere to do pull-ups at home or at work, which is kind of interesting. So I need to do that, as I actually find it very difficult, and I definitely need to get on that. So snatching felt a little bit foreign, but also incredibly familiar. I mean, I've done tens of thousands of snatches. Have I done into the hundreds of thousands of snatches? Is that possible? So, everything felt okay. Start position, hips are a little bit low, I think. I was looping around my knee a little bit on some of them, so just trying to sweep it back a bit towards me and trying to keep that back position in a better posture. So 70 for a triple, obviously, it's meaningless, but it feels okay. It's getting better. It'll be interesting to see where it goes as I just kind of tip along. So that's my third snatch session this year, so we'll try and keep a track of that. I'd actually wanted to talk tonight about a specific subject in regards to, can you get stronger while getting faster? I'd even bought chalk to write on the board because I wanted to talk about a few different things, but because this is the first session, though a training session after a couple of days off, I just wanted to get in, get it done, get moving. It's also pretty late. It's like 10:30 now. Yeah, it's 10:20 and I need to do some cardio. So I just wanted to get through the session done, and I knew I'd condense it a little bit better talking after. So things are moving well. Running feels a little bit springier. I feel a little bit springier. Enjoying losing weight, but hopefully building some muscle. It's funny when you're in the position where I'm in, is that I've had more muscle in my upper body. I've had much more muscle in my upper body, and I've also been much leaner. So I'm in that fortunate scenario where I should be able to gain that muscle while trimming some of the fat. A lot of satellite cell proliferation. So it'll be interesting to see, but obviously when you're observing yourself every day, the progression in recomposition is quite granular, so you don't really notice those changes. So really, hopefully, by the end of February maybe, might see some changes. I have some news as well for a lot of you I know you might be interested in. We're doing our camp again this year in Portugal, and we're going to do our weightlifting camp, and we're looking to do a strength and conditioning camp for athletes of any sport. We're going to take you through sessions, take you through gym sessions, get to a track, do some work there. It doesn't really matter what sport you're on. We will be able to help you and get really kind of granular with individual people or specific with people's questions and answer them, really take you through a couple of days of training, but also give a lot of information. So excited to do an S&C one. Obviously, spaces, not to, what's the phrase, make this like a gimmick or make it like a sales pitch per se. Obviously the spaces are quite small. The gym has a certain number of spaces. We have limited availability, and the camps are good prices. They include meals, access to the gym, and there will be an option to get access to accommodation included in the price, but there's lots of places to stay around with varying prices, and some of them are very good value. So they won't, it'll, once it's full, there's not a lot to fill. There's going to be, I think we're going to do between 12 and 15 spaces. We just need to finalize it for both camps each, obviously. So if you're interested in either one, do let us know. We will be taking official booking pretty soon, so we'll need some deposits. Last year's was amazing. People loved it. Hopefully some of those people will be back. And it is obviously the south of Portugal. I should have mentioned that earlier. In the Algarve, down in Luz, Praia de Luz, and James Top Class. I've known the owners, I've known the manager and his wife for over a decade now. They're Irish people, so that's how we ended up there first. They do camps as their thing, but they don't run the camps, they facilitate the camps, and they're very, very good at that, and it's a wonderful time. Loz is lovely, people get on really well at these camps. That's not our first camp. We've done a couple of camps, the others have been in London, and you know, the foreign environment for everyone is best for gelling because people get on better, but it's also just nicer to be in a nice environment. So we will be full details of that soon, and hopefully people can take part. So it doesn't matter if you do jiu-jitsu, if you're a sprinter, if you're a hurdler, if you're a rock climber, paddle, board, rugby, we will be able to get you sorted, get some sessions in, conditioning sessions in, strength training sessions in, mobility sessions in, theory sessions in, and it should be a good time all around. So check out the Seek Strength app on iOS and Android if you're looking to improve your training. People are loving the app, so happy with the app. I feel so much happier with the app. The app is just... So the PDFs are great, and obviously literally thousands of people use those PDFs and still use those PDFs and make progress. But it could have always been so much better, you know, and obviously took a while. But the app finally is what it's much happier with that product, that I'm just in the back of my head at any point throughout the day, I'm like, yeah, the app is good. The app is doing stuff. People are getting a better product. The feedback loop is so much smoother for everyone. It's so much better for them, and it's such a quality product. And look, it costs a lot of money for us, which is fine, and it's making money, which is great. And I'm so happy with that, because while there's still a lot of work to do, I'm very happy with how it is so far. And as I mentioned, some big stuff coming this year with that. So we're hoping to get that done. Thanks for watching the training vlog. I'll see you in the next one.